Dana has lost his rabbit mind, y'all. Point blank period. What's good? It's your good sis Erica Vane coming to you with another Kings of Napa video. In this video, we are talking about episode 4, Dear Wine People from season 1. If you are new to the show, it is streaming now on OWN and it's similar to our kind of people that we saw on Fox. However, it's across the coast in wine country with a black affluent family that owns their own prestigious vineyard. It's absolutely incredible of a show. Great story that's being told. And in this video, we're going to dive right on into it. If you're new here, I'm Erica Vane, giving you all the latest tea, recaps, breakdowns, and conversations around your favorite and the hottest television and film. If you're new, hit the subscribe button, turn your bell notifications so that you don't miss any of my videos. If you are returning, welcome back, boo. You know how we do. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. And without further ado, let's get into it. Dear Wine People. Okay, so for the most part, y'all, it wasn't a ton that came out by way of story. I think we went a little deeper versus actually moving ahead in the story in this episode. This episode, Dana kind of gets to shine in the worst way. All of his worst qualities come about. He is really leaning into his narcissism bag. He's really leaning into his entitlement. He's leaning into his insecurities, and I hate that for him. I am really struggling with disliking him as a character because while he is a little person, you would typically think that there is some type of prejudice towards him or dislike towards him just because like ableism is real, right? But this has nothing to do with that. He is literally trash. He literally drags his wife throughout this whole episode because last episode she voted for August's dessert wine versus his. August and him are basically battling. He's pissed because his father passed away and left August in charge of the organization and he feels like he should be in charge. He has Napoleon complex. He has narcissism. He has so many things working and it literally gives you all the reasons in the world to hate him. And then his physical appearance, I think he uses that against other people. So while in the episode we get a flashback to him going into a financial institution to, potentially take their CFO position. Before he walks in, they love his resume. These two white guys love his resume, think that he brings everything to the table. He checks the diversity box, but then it looks like when they see him, they decide not to go with him because he's a little person. But then come to find out years later, his father actually called and made sure that they did not make an offer for him just so that he can come and work at the family business. So it's so crazy because he is the one who's leaning into all of the stereotypes and all of the ableism rhetoric that surrounds, people of so-called quote unquote normalcy versus the others, right? Like he is the one who's leaning heavily and expecting people to disrespect him because he's a little person, people not to look at him favorably because he's a little person, and nobody is treating him this way. Literally no one. He's literally hollering and screaming from the rafters of not getting respect, not getting what he deserves, and nobody is doing that. He's getting the negative attention that he gets because he's a trash person, because he's vindictive, because he's vengeful, because he's spiteful, because he's kind of evil, y'all. If you can't tell, I really do not like Dana King and I want to like him, but I can't. Even when we make it towards the end of the episode and he finally has a heart-to-heart with his crazy mama, because sis has lost her dang on mind. I know you lost your husband, sis, but that don't mean you had to lose your mind. She lost her husband, she lost her mind, and now, by the end of the episode, she's talking to him and explaining to him, I didn't want to abort you. I made a decision not to abort you. I was very scared of you having to live the life that you were going to live once we found out that you were a little person and that you might have medical complications and things like that. But I made the conscious decision to have you because I wanted you, and cleared all that up. Then he has this little sentimental moment like, oh, I'm so sorry I treated you like trash. No, this is who you are. You need to be, I'm so sorry that I'm trash and I need a therapist. I'm so sorry that my first go-to is to always get back and or try to destroy and annihilate people. He's literally working a secret mission to take down August, who was the leader and the president of their vineyard because her father left him in charge. And instead of figuring out how he can empower her and help her push to be her best self, he's trying to figure out how to destroy her from within just so that he can have a seat at the table, or the head seat at the table, because he already has a seat at the table. I hate that for you, and you are not a king. You're giving very much ghetto, and you need your ass whooped, if I'm gonna be honest. Now, Christian is the other brother who is just kind of floating and frolicking, and the other F word that I will not say because I don't want to be demonetized. And it's like, okay, King, go ahead, live your best life and have fun, but we also got work to do. Y'all's family is being extorted. Yo sister's trying to make sure that y'all don't go into ruins and try to keep this vineyard alive. Like, your mother is spiraling because her sister slept with her husband and then had her niece. It's a lot going on, and you too busy thinking about whining and dining in the vines, frolicking with Sheila. Who the hell is a Sheila, Christian? You need to pick up a book, learn about these daggone grapes, and do your job, bro. Do your job. I want more for him. But shout out to him, because he's definitely the dude from Harlem, episode 1 with Camille. I absolutely love Ebonee, who plays August, the lead. She has to make a bunch of very tough choices in this series, but it's all good because she's handling it in stride. I think that she's 100% right about Otis. By the end of the episode, it comes to a head where Dana actually calls the police on Otis, their groundskeeper. They come to believe, because they have this private detective looking into the extortionist and trying to figure out who it is, and they think that Otis might be the person because he's connected to another vineyard who's also being extorted. And August is literally the only person who doesn't think it's him and doesn't want to call the police. And I think that she's right, and she's only going by her intuition, but my intuition is saying the same thing. Yes, when the police arrived, he did run, but what black person doesn't run when they see the police? I'm gonna be honest. If you driving, you start to hit the brakes. I do it all the time. Even when I'm driving the speed limit, I see a police officer, I shift, I change. It's just real. And I do think that there's so much more to this story. It's unfortunate, but by the end of this episode, it's like, it looks like Dana was right. It looks like Otis did it. And I'm like, no, because y'all gonna get a phone call tomorrow and the extortionist is still gonna be like, I want my money. Where is it at? And mind you, Otis, by the end of this episode, is unconscious in the hospital. Now, I'm wondering if the mama and the aunt, because I can never remember their names, they both getting on my nerves, y'all, but I wonder if they're gonna get to a good place. In this episode, they actually talked, and the aunt was able to reveal additional information, because the mom was talking about, is there any other information I don't know, more secrets that you're holding? So she levels with her. She still hates her sister, which is understandable, because you did sleep with her husband and have a whole baby, and it looks like you were probably in love with him and had a whole relationship. So girl, that is definitely ghetto, but I'm gonna need y'all to get to wherever y'all going, because both of y'all are acting childish. The show is very much so a soap opera, so make sure you prep yourself with that. These two really kind of annoy me. The mama makes it really hard to grieve with her and to feel sympathetic for her, because she acts so vindictive to everyone, not even just the people who did this to her. Like, I feel like she's taken out a lot of her emotions and anger on her children as well, and it's kind of annoying. It's a little bit more nuanced than it is outright to, you know, her husband's sister and her sister, who all have maintained this lie. But what did Bridgette have to do with this? She's literally just a bystander, and you have fired her, and she's the best thing for your vines, best thing for your company. And it might turn out that she's a little bit scorned, because at the end of the episode, Christian is looking around for some things that he needed to go and help take care of the vines. He finds Bridgette's bag and the poison that was used in the other vineyard, the vines. He finds that in her bag, and it's like, why you got that, sis? What's going on? But that is my full breakdown of episode 4, The Kings of Napa, Dear Wine People, from season 1. Let me know what you thought about the episode in the comment section down below. Be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of my other The Kings of Napa videos, and I'm going to see you in the next one.